Right. Hello, everyone. We are Team Codesaurus, and the idea that we're proposing is Quest, a journey into the unknown, and the choice is up to you. Now, whether you're someone who would love to explore the world of dragons, or someone who would rather wander into the deep dark forest, or if you're someone who wonders what it's like to encounter the lords of evil, or would wonder what it would be like to delve into a world of magic, then our product is for you. All you have to do is roll the dice, follow the story, and see where the choices lead you. So, this is our agenda for today. We'll start by getting to know the team.
Hello, my name is Ayla Hata, and I'm the backend developer of the project.
Hi, I'm Clive Lewis, and I am the developer slash tester.
Hi, I'm Dhruv Joshi. I'm the Scrum Master and a developer.
Hi, I'm Dylan Pereira. I'm the full stack developer.
Hi, I'm Farham. I'm team lead and also a developer.
Hi, I'm Ranmay. I'm the developer and also a tester for this project.
And I'm Sharon. I am the full stack developer.
So the problem we're trying to solve here is that we have limited flexibility in RPGs. So while RPGs offer a lot of freedom, they can still have some constraints. These might come from rules systems. That is, there are strict rules which can limit player actions and creative problem solving. Even if the player might have a brilliant idea, but the rules might not allow it. And there are some limitations. And lack of imagination or creative inspiration is also there, which is a common hole for many. Sometimes the creative well is just runs dry, and this can be because of the pressure, lack of inspiration, or the fear of failure. So there's our vision is to work on a sorry. Our vision is a realization of a story that lives in our mind, and this is a effective way to work through the creative blocks. So Quest tackles the challenges by using a gamified version of novel with a couple of simulations, which is where introduces a new approach. It seems to combine the elements of novels, gamification, simulations. Quest also has the potential to make learning fun and engaging while boosting creativity and imagination. By blending these elements, Quest aims to increase engagement, foster creativity, and enhance imagination. So, in our project description, we go towards what is Quest. Quest sounds like a exciting platform, right? So, Quest is essentially an interactive web-based platform designed to bring novels to life in a more engaging way. It's not just about reading, it's about experiencing a story. It is like a hybrid between a novel and a game, where the reader becomes an active participant. So we have a key features, which is that there's an interactive novel experience, where Quest transforms the passive act of reading into an active one. Instead of just following the story, you become a part of it. This is an immersive world. Our platform aims to create a captivating world that draws users in and sparks their imagination. The player agency, which is a core element, and essentially where our choices directly influence the narrative, putting us in control of the story's direction. There are some meaningful choices to be made, which aren't trivial. They have consequences which affect various aspects of the story. There are character relationships, story outcomes, ethical dilemmas, and secret plots which can be unlocked through specific choices, which reward the players who explore different options and adding layers of intrigue. In short, Quest aims to be just more than a digital book. It's a immersive, interactive storytelling experience.
All right. So the next we do the personas. So based on our product, we've narrowed down potential user base and summed them up into a few different user personas. The first one is the reader persona. Meet Betty. She is a working mom, loves her routine escapes to discussing romance novels with her book club friends. She often wonders what it would be like if she wasn't one. Constantly disappointed watching her favorite characters make the same cliched moves over and over, she feels passionately about doing things differently. Her mind cannot stop analyzing the what if scenarios. What if the princess didn't kiss the frog? Or what if Romeo did receive the letter? Getting into endless debates about the plots with her book clubs that never seem to reach a consensus. Now, being a working mom, Betty cannot always make time for a book club and keep up with the readings. She seeks a way to conveniently escape and immerse herself into these novels she loves so much, but at her own time and in her own space. Wanting to be able to make her own choices in the narrative and not having to wonder how the narrative would change. Only if there was a way to do it. Well, that's what our product aims to be. The next persona that we would be looking at is the novelist persona. This is John. He is an old school full time novelist, loves his typewriter. He is someone who draws inspiration and create who draws creativity and inspiration from the people and his surroundings, and he does that by taking the public transit. He's committed to his work. But like anyone else in his profession, he also experiences creative blocks from time to time. When faced with writer's blocks, John struggles to talk through his ideas openly, whether it's describing a morally complex character with questionable ethics or just about something as straightforward as trying to find a segue within his story. He cannot seem to find a way to talk about his ideas openly without letting his own personal biases get in the way or at the same time avoid the judgy side eye from his friends. He wants an interactive yet discreet platform and a way to navigate his storylines without being worried about a colleague stealing his idea. Now, while online resources seem overwhelming to John, he would consider using one that is simple, has guides that are easy to follow, would walk him through the platform with ease, and preferably voice based to help him think out loud and work through his creative block.
Our third persona is the gamer persona. His name is Jason Byrne. He's 28. He's a lawyer. He is a busy working professional who looks forward to weekly nights with his group of friends, enjoys online games that are engaging, interactive, and low effort. He struggles with finding new games that are different, that can be played more than once or twice before becoming boring and predictable. He finds it hard to schedule a day that works for everyone in the group for the game night. When playing games that require storytelling and defining player roles, he and his group struggle to come up with something creative, especially after a long and busy work week. His goals are usually looking for a game that can be replayed fresh without getting predictable, that can be one or more than one player. He seeks a way to start a game night without spending too much time in picking a game and setups. He wants to play in a dynamic environment that can easily adapt and improvise to player moves when the narrative gets overwhelming, with minimal effort required from players.
So now moving on to the minimum viable product that we're trying to achieve. We're trying to create an AI-driven interactive novel with visual elements. And as Moonmai, Sharon, and Ayla covered, our application allows the users to dynamically influence the story so they can shape the story however they want. And we're allowing that to happen through our choice system. So our choice system is not going to be multiple choice or a definite definite answer that you have to give in order to succeed. Technically, the user can type anything they want at each interaction point of the story, allowing them to shape the story in any direction that they would like. We are trying to also make it more engaging by adding visual elements into this. So we're going to be adding enemies that the user can see along the quest. And also there's going to be other NPCs, non-playable characters, where they can also meet along their adventure and either communicate with and find out more about the world that they're living in or find out more about their quest. And we are going to have a simple UI because the personas that we're seeing going to be using this is technically going to be catered to almost all ages. And having a simple UI makes it very accessible for everybody to get onto the application, quickly learn how it's being used, and use it the way it's meant to be. And to be decided, we're trying to think about adding a pause and resume so that users don't have to play the game in one session. They will be able to pause it and resume it the next day if whenever they feel like it. This kind of helps everybody to with like busy time schedules to play the game at their time, at their pace.
So after coming to the consensus of the technology stack that we'll be selecting, we are going with JS and React on front end. Backend, we'll be developing on Python and Node.js with a combination of OpenAI. With the databases, will be present on MongoDB, and the tools we will be using are Jira, GitHub, Slack, and Visual Studio Code. So after approaching the idea of the project, we boiled down the implementation into four major components. First being the player status manager, where we will be keeping track of the status of the player, that is health of the player and all the other things that go along for the player to continue the game. The game status manager, which actually manages the entire game and ensures that the flow is consistent. The AI LLM model manager. Now, this component basically handles all of the interaction and processing done by the AI, where the prompts will be passed and received. And the crux of our project is the prompt generator. Now we have to be very fine and detailed while generating the prompt, as we have to pass relevant contextual information about the game and the player as well, if we want a good flow from the AI. So the project schedule that we have divided up is for Sprint 0, we have finalized on the topic, we have set up tasks, and we have set up our software systems to run. For Sprint 1, we will be starting off with the basic components and we will be individually testing them as we move forward. In Sprint 2, our main goal would be implementing a basic integration with all of the components. And in Sprint 3, we will be completing the integration testing and ironing out any kinks present in the project.
So talking about the team working agreement. So since we had a few meetings in the past, there were certain few things that we realized should be ironed out in particular, and we realized that there are more efficient ways that we were able to come to consensus on certain scenarios. So since the text on the screen might seem like a lot, I would like to speak about a few major points. Coming to the various communication channels and collaboration channels we might use, we typically will be using Slack, Zoom, emails, along with GitHub for code management and Google Workspace for collaborations and discussions. We expect all team members to respect the opinions and recommendations, and they should be all the opinions should be considered during the decision-making process. If a member happens to deviate from a planned activity, they must notify the team with a brief explanation as to why they decided it's the best way to move forward. Coming to conflict resolution, in case of opinion-based disagreements, we came to the idea that both parties should present their research and their solutions, and then the team could decide by taking a vote on what the best solution moving forward would be. When it comes to team management and code management, every member should voice their concerns during discussion with regards to any decision or any change being made into our code base. Code updates on GitHub must be communicated to avoid merge conflict, and any changes made it to the master branch must be announced to the entire team. Meeting schedule, when it comes to the meeting schedule and structure, meetings will be held twice a week, Sunday and Tuesday, with an additional meeting if required for creating the recordings for submissions. And the meeting timings will be based on the availability and will follow a fixed agenda document to ensure everyone's preparation for each meeting. Team members can schedule additional meetings as needed for collaboration. Uh, and sprint planning will be something that will take place at the start of each sprint, and the last meeting of the sprint would be the retrospective. Coming to attendance and participation, if a member cannot attend, they must inform the team in advance. And absent members should review the meeting summary and continue with their assigned tasks as scheduled. Active participation in every meeting is expected from all members. So, speaking about the team dynamics and principles, we expect every member should be treated with kindness, respect, and patience, even in challenging situations. Clear understanding of responsibilities and tasks is essential for smooth functioning of this team. When it comes to workload management, tasks should be distributed evenly among team members. Large or complex tasks will be broken down into smaller, more manageable tasks. This is to ensure even distribution and efficiency. Each task should have a deadline and a review process upon completion. When it comes to solving certain portions and problems and documenting our process, team members are encouraged to resolve blockers independently before seeking team assistance. This would help save everyone's time, and more research can be made at the initial stage that way. That's why we also recommend that all the members document their attempted solutions before approaching the team, since this could help the team avoid repetition of possible resolutions for major blockers being faced. Jira trackers must be updated regularly, and all your work performed should be linked to the Jira tracker. This could be done in the form of either mentioning a GitHub comment ID or whatever linkable possibility that can be put in the Jira tracker. Coming to code management and sharing, work should be updated and shared through GitHub or for maintaining version control and transparency. So when we speak about a task being completed, we came up with a simple checklist to make sure that every person understands what a completed task means. This checklist includes points such as code must run error-free with no syntactical or runtime issues. The acceptance criteria must be met for each task as required. Your work must be reviewed and tested by the assigned team member. Code should be pushed to the appropriate branch, and a pull request must be arranged for a review. Relevant documentation must be updated alongside your work, and work should be reviewed by multiple team members before being deployed to production. Handing it over to Dylan.
So let's look back at Sprint Zero. We had actually a lot of solid wins. Starting off with active participation, which brought in some great ideas like sign language to speech translation application, this very application, and even a news to stock grading application. So good job on that. Secondly, meetings didn't spiral into chaos thanks to clear agendas prepared beforehand. And when we couldn't agree on something, polls saved us from endless debates because nothing says democracy like clicking a button. But of course, we weren't perfect, though we maintained the illusion well. We need to start sticking to meeting durations instead of letting them morph into 3-hour TED Talks. Maybe some more direct feedback would help help us all improve. And last is that we should try to make communication clear and jargon free because we don't need to spend any extra time decoding each person's words. A few commitments that we came to based on this sprint and past team projects, like we are enforcing a code freeze before any major deadline so that things are working when we need to present it and display it. Then we will try to identify risks early and so that they don't snowball out of control. And last but not the least, we really need to prioritize our sleep schedule because we all know no deadline is worth the exhaustion. So let's keep this momentum going and avoid the mistakes of our past, hopefully a little wiser and more well rested. Thank you.
Okay, so the last part of our project of this PowerPoint would be the wiki page. We have constructed a wiki page starting with our project description. Then we go ahead with our project members, then project design. Then we have presenting languages and tools. We got 4 components that our team member displayed in the previous slides. We got listed program languages, algorithm, database, and tools that we're going to use in our future work. We got a final application artifacts and a final VIP, which will be a driven interactive novel where users can become the main character and dynamically influence the story with unlimited choices, using a dice roll to determine the success or failure. Then we got the application manuals, 4 of them. We have the Spring deliverables that we already explained before as well. We follow up with the presentations, with the burn down charts, sprint planning, and retrospectives. Team working agreement that we already have uploaded a PDF. We have presented our personas as well, 3 of them here. Then the final part would be the user stories and acceptance criteria sprint and the application test cases that we upload when we work on them. So this would be it for our wiki page. So this is our first draft, like whatever we'll work on, we'll just upload here and we'll make it like detailed and with more work on it. And I think this is our last slide of this PowerPoint presentation. Yeah. Thank you so much. This was our Sprint Zero presentation. See you.
Okay, thank you.